So today, as we continue with our chakra balancing, we have reached the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. Saha Shara. Saha Shara. The lotus flower gets 100 petals and usually depicted in violet and white. Think of the crown of your head is connecting you to a higher source and an opportunity for us to connect with something greater than just ourselves. So throughout this practice, keep the focus on the top of your crown here. I invite you to imagine a white light, beautiful ray of energy that's spewing up to the heavens. And that energy is also drawing back down to you. So feel that sense of connection. And as we ground here in could be comfortable seated position, or I'm taking a half lotus pose right now. No need to go there right away. I'm warmed up just a little bit. Good, Donna. Nice, Kayla. Beautiful. The element here is silence. And the Bijan sound is Om. So I'd like to start by just doing a little chanting of Om 27 times. Let's begin audibly. So let's start by reciting it and then eventually letting it fade out and going quietly within, connecting to source. Okay? So let's close our eyes, center ourselves down, seated up nice and tall, propped up on a pillow. Anyone tuning in at home, we're seated in a lotus or half lotus. Our crown is connected. Palms are open to receive. Index and thumb together in chin mudra. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, we'll begin to chant together, counting backwards. Om 27 times. Om. 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 If you lose your count, it's all right. Just begin to continue to recite Om silently to yourself. Just a few more breaths here. Let's begin to open our eyes. Go ahead and release the legs. Just extend them out in front. It's okay if you're still propped up nice and tall. Just feel that stretch, especially having sat in the lotus pose. And let's begin our physical practice today, taking balasana or child's pose. Go ahead and clear your mat. And bring your forehead down to the mat. Rest your arms down by your side. I'm offering this simple affirmation today. I am divine. I am divine. Just let that resonate and connect you to your divine source, whatever that means for you. On an inhale, begin to rise up, bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Let's come on up on our knees and take a little baby back bend, bringing that prayer down to your heart center and taking child's pose again. Releasing the hands down behind you. Let's continue with this dynamic movement 4 more times, please. Inhale, raising your arms up, reaching for the divine energy and drawing it back down to your center, to your heart, to the midline, releasing to balasana, child pose. On your next inhale, rise up, reaching for all that energy, drawing it back down to your heart in a prayer with a prayer for yourself. Loving yourself most and first allows us to be more loving to the world and to those we love around us. Inhale, rise up, reaching for that energy. Bring your palms together. Moving dynamically at your own pace. Inhale, rise up, reach for the energy. Draw it down to your center. Resting here in balasana. Hello, Susan. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Just in time. Inhale, come on up to a tabletop. And curl your toes under. Let's go ahead and take our first downward dog. Let's pedal our dog out. Tapping into our crown energy here. Anytime our head is held upside down, we're bringing all that energy to the top of our head, our crown chakra. Breathe into that space. Allow the blood flow to reach all the way down to the tip of your crown, spiraling your elbows in towards your ears, pedaling your legs out. On your next exhale, release your knees down to the earth. Sit back, Balasana. This time, let's keep our hands extended out in front of us. Tent the fingers up on the mat. So this Balasana is fully active. Feel your tailbone drawing down towards your heels. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. Now draw the shoulders slightly back and away from the ears, so down the back. Tented fingers, the tips of their fingers are clawing into the mat. On your next inhale, come on back up to your tabletop. Shoulders over wrists. Hips over knees, curl the toes under, push back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, pedaling still, just warming the body up here. Releasing the neck, maybe taking your head from side to side. Saying yes and no, maybe up and down, back and forth. Very gentle with your body. On the exhale, release the knees back down to the mat. Come to your tabletop here. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Happy cow. Take your eyes up to the heavens. And curl your toes under. Exhale, take it to your downward facing dog again. This time, let's inhale our right leg up to the sky. Point the foot as high as you can. Inhale and exhale. And then bend your knee, open up your hips here. That's it. Flexing that right foot, drawing the left heel down towards the mat a little bit more. Breathe into this three-legged dog. Nice hip opener by pulling that knee up towards the sky. Excellent. Exhale. Let's bring our hips back to square. Draw the knee into your chest, keeping the hips high here, and then step your foot down between your hands. Perfect. Stay here in your runner's lunge, assessing your foundation. Toes are curled under on the back foot. Press into that left heel. Toes are facing forward on the front foot. Now inhale and exhale. Draw the navel back, creating space in the spine. Inhaling, exhaling here, 3 more breaths, feeling the connection from the root chakra all the way through to the crown chakra. Knee may come to the mat if you need at any time. And blocks, if it's better for your practice, feel free to take some blocks. Bringing the earth up closer to you, creating what it is that we want to create that space in the spine and resist the urge to collapse down on the knee. So keeping that spine nice and straight. Good. Go ahead and release the blocks and step on back to your downward facing dog again. Let's bring our knees down to the mat on the exhale. Sit back into child pose with extended arms, moving dynamically here, connecting ourselves to divinity. Inhaling, raising yourself back up to your downward, to your tabletop pose. Taking a moment here, assessing shoulders over wrists, hips over knees before curling the toes under, push back, downward facing dog. Take 2 full rounds of breath here. So inhale and exhale, audible breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Maybe take one more breath here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling audibly through the mouth. Let that energy go. On your next inhale, lift up the left leg pointed up to the sky. Go ahead and press into the right heel. So reaching that heel down towards the earth while the left foot reaches up towards the sky as high as possible. Excellent. Bend the knee, open up the hip here as if your left heel is going to kick your butt. Perfect. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now, bring your hips to square again. And on your inhale, draw your knee to your chest, keeping your hips up high. And then look forward and step your foot, left foot between your hands here. Runner's lunge. Invitation to take your blocks. Whatever makes this pose more accessible for you to extend the spine, reaching from tail to crown here, pushing back into that right heel now. Inhaling, exhaling, beautiful. Knee can come down to the mat at any time if you need. Bring your Ujjayi breath here. Focus on the crown chakra. And go ahead and release your blocks. Push back. Downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Release the knees to the mat. Sit back, Balasana. Placing your forehead on the mat. Keeping your arms extended out in front. Tenting those fingers up. I am divine. I am divinely connected to a higher source. Inhale, come on up to your tabletop. Let's take the right arm and reach it up towards the ceiling just to sweep it underneath and just hover for a second and then inhale that arm out again. We're going to continue to move dynamically. This helps us really create a flow and connect that crown chakra to a higher source. Last time and now, as you thread the needle, rest the shoulder down on the mat, extend the the left arm forward, resting the right ear down on the mat. Breathing here. Option to wrap the arm behind your back, drawing the left shoulder open even more. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale, unravel. Come on back to your tabletop. Opposite side now, please. So let's go ahead and extend the left arm up and dynamically thread it through, only to release it back up. Make your motions really fluid. Think about what you're doing here. And 3 or 4 times, whenever you feel your body, listen to your own intuition. When your body says rest the left shoulder down on the mat, do so, please. Reaching the right arm out in front. Only toes under for stability if you like or not. You want to be more challenged, keep the top of your feet on the mat. If you'd like to go ahead and take a wrap around your back, opening up that right shoulder, drawing that right shoulder back and squeezing it into the midline just a little more. Breathe into these gentle openings of the neck and the shoulder. A gentle twist. Beautiful. Unravel yourself and push back, downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale, raising the right leg up to the ceiling, reaching the left heel down towards the earth. Now draw the knee into the chest here, raising the hips nice and high. So really pushing up and away from the earth with your upper body while the left heel reaches for the earth. Now take that right foot and place it in between your hands. Runner's lunge. Blocks are available and optional to you. Focus now on the tailbone and the crown, this straight line of energy, and see that white light that we started out with, connecting from the crown of your head, spewing out beautiful, loving, white energy of light. Continuing on with a few more dynamic movements, let's bend the left knee and straighten it. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Very nice. Stepping that left foot up maybe just a little to prepare yourself. I know it's a little early on in our practice, but we're warmed up enough. And I know you are connected to your divine source as we step up into a standing split. Beautiful. That's it. Inhaling, connecting to your breath, allowing your crown to reach for the earth here. So relaxing the neck, pushing up with that left leg as much as you can, reaching for the heavens. Inhale and exhale one more time for me, please. Nice and big. Now exit. Very pretty. Just bring the left foot to meet the right. Uttanasana. Beautiful. Forward fold here. Reaching the glutes up for the heavens. Relaxing the neck and head. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, releasing back down. And inhale, rising up. Nice and slow, like a yoga zombie. One vertebra at a time. When you reach Tadasana, take a few shoulder rolls. Good job, ladies. And quiet everything down. Close your eyes. Tap inside to your divinity. Inhale, raise the arms up. Taking Anjali Mudra, so hands together in prayer. Draw that energy down to you. Maybe this time taking your head back just a little bit now. Folding forward, Uttanasana. Step back to plank. Come on up, shoulders over wrists. Spiral those elbows into the midline and lower yourself down as slow as you possibly can. Come on, all the way down to the ground. Inhale, dynamic movement here. 3 cobra poses. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lowering back down. Nice and tight in your cobra tail. Elbows into the midline. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower yourself back down. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Excellent, beautiful, Donna. Exhale, lower back down. Push back. Downward facing dog. Take 2 to 3 full rounds of breath, meaning inhaling and exhaling. Maybe take the breath out the mouth today, releasing that energy audibly. So inhale, exhale. Feel yourself melting even further. Inhale, exhale. Nice. Now inhale the left leg all the way up to the ceiling here, pushing down into the right heel, reaching for the mat. Inhaling, exhaling a few breaths. Now inhale the knee in towards the chest. See how my hips raise up nice and high, but I'm pushing down with my heel at the same time. It's a push-pull. Inhale, exhale. Now place the left foot in between your hands. Blocks are optional here. Don't let the ego get in the way of creating space in the spine. So drawing from root to crown here, think of all 7 chakras in alignment, resisting the urge to collapse down onto the thigh here. Breathe into your runner's lunge. One more breath. And then go ahead and start to dynamically move, releasing the knee and straightening, bending and straightening. So warming up for that standing split on the left side. If you need to step it up just a little, it's okay. Go ahead and place your hands out in front, reaching your crown down towards the earth, reaching the right leg up towards the sky. Hips can be square or slightly open. Keeping them square is a little bit more challenging. Opening feels a little more natural. Either is fine for your practice this morning. Exit by just simply placing the right foot down next to the left. Uttanasana. Inhale, rising up like a little yoga zombie. And reach for the heavens, drawing all that energy back down to your heart center. and release back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back here. Crown is spewing beautiful white light of energy. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Inhale, draw yourself all the way back up again. Exhale, releasing the arms down. Tadasana. Mountain pose. Take stock in this mountain pose here. Feel all four corners of the feet firmly planted on the ground. Feel the kneecaps raising up towards the hip. Arms are extended out, palms open, ready to receive, shoulders drawn back, chest is out and up. I am connected to a higher source. Nice. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead, swan diving down. This time, maybe you want to just hop back to a plank pose here. And then push your hips back up towards the heavens, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and draw yourself back into your plank pose. Inhale, raise the hips back up. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, raising your hips up to downward facing dog. Exhaling back into a plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, let's bring the knees to the mat now. Setting up for a dolphin pose here. So let's place our forearms down on the mat, making sure that our elbows are really right underneath our shoulders and drawing the shoulder blades to the midline. So we round the back slightly. Now interlace your fingers, placing your head down on the mat. Bring your knees in a little bit closer. Curl your toes under. And maybe walk your feet a little closer if you can. 5 full rounds of breath in our dolphin. Pushing through the forearms here. One more breath. Exhale, release your knees to the mat. Sit back, Balasana, child pose. Release your arms down by your side. Let your forehead find the mat. Let your forehead kiss the mat. Resting your third eye. Very nice, everyone. Let's inhale ourselves back up to our tabletop. We're going to take another round of dolphin. So come around this way for you so I can see you guys a little bit better. So remember all the cues now, placing the forearms down on the mat, making sure the elbows are really nicely tucked under the shoulders, drawing those shoulder blades in towards the midline. Interlace the fingers, the head comes down onto the mat here, protecting the neck by pushing in through the forearms and raising your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can walk your feet in a little closer towards your head. Inhale and exhale.
And on the next inhale, raise the right leg up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, release the right leg. Inhale, exhale, and inhale the left leg up towards the ceiling. Good job. Release the left foot down to meet the right. Knees meet the mat. Find your balasana, child pose. Releasing your arms down by your side. You can probably really begin to feel a lot of energy. You can maybe even hear it in your ears because we're bringing so much blood up to the head, which is good. Anytime we take an inversion, it is excellent. Caution for high blood pressure, but taking this time in your child pose brings that blood pressure back down. Inversions are an incredible way to sustain beautiful, healthy, vital bodies, creating excellent circulation in the body, stimulating the brain, and all the senses in our body, waking all the senses up, connecting all 7 chakras to the crown. Yes, come on back up to a seated hero pose. Let's take a moment. Have a seat on a block if you like, if it's a little tough on your knees. Dolphin is pretty intense, so even taking your knees wide apart in this hero pose and just relaxing and checking in with yourself for a moment. Inhale, exhale, Om. Inhale, exhale, Om. Om. 2 more times on your own. Om. Om. Nice. Inhale, let's raise the arms up overhead and take your, it's going to be, I'm mirroring you, so it's going to be your left arm to your right elbow. And just draw that over towards your left side, taking a nice lateral opening of the side body here. Giving a nice stretch to the arms from all that downward facing dog and standing splits and dolphins. You guys are amazing today. Inhale, come on back to center and opposite hold, please. Take that lateral extension to the opposite side. Inhale, come on back to center. Rain your hands down by your sides. Release the block from underneath you. And come on down onto your butt. Let's slowly lower down. Preparing for bridge. So hands are down by your side. Heels can be close to the hips as possible, but relax. We're going to start by raising our hips up halfway, really tapping into the energy of the lower extremities first. So glutes and the hams and the quads. Inhale, raise your hips about halfway. And we're going to just hold here and breathe 5 full breaths. On or around your 5th breath, go ahead and release your hips back down to the earth. Inhale and exhale 2 rounds of breath. And this time, maybe walk your heels up a little bit closer to your butt. And on the inhale, tuck your chin down, raise your hips up a little higher, drawing the shoulders into the midline a little bit more. Arms are still out by our sides here. The knees are going to want to try and draw away from each other. Pull them into the midline here. Grounding through the bottom of our feet, with all 4 corners of the feet. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And go ahead and release your hips down to the mat. Nice. Let's just draw our knees into our chest for Apanasana. Bring your hands out to the side. Let your knees fall off to one direction or the other, and bring your gaze, your drishti, to the opposite. Inhale, bring your knees into center. And exhale, let them fall away to the opposite side. Bringing your gaze over to the opposite side. Apologies. I thought I had shut the phone off. That is the love of my life. Who knows I teach yoga on Tuesday mornings. But maybe he thinks it's Monday too. I woke up thinking it was Monday morning today. Inhale, draw your knees into your chest. And now let's flex our feet and straighten our legs up towards the ceiling, taking a waterfall pose. Hands can be out at a T, they can come closer to your sides. You can support yourself, maybe resting your hands on the back of your hamstrings. Now let's point the toes and flex the toes and point the toes and flex the toes. Go ahead and bend your knees, bringing them to the outside of your rib cage, reaching for the sides of your feet, taking a happy baby. Bye, Donna. Enjoy the rest of your day. No apologies needed, just happy you were here. Go ahead and rock from side to side. And our happy baby. Maybe change your grip by taking the index and middle finger and wrapping them around the big toe. And go ahead and draw your knees in a little closer to your body, outside the rib cage. Now maybe draw your feet, the soles of your feet together. And inhale, extend them open, nice and wide. Exhale, draw your feet together. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, Om. Inhale wide. Exhale. Oh. Inhale wide. Exhale. Oh. Nice. Go ahead and release your feet. Let the soles of your feet find the mat. Go ahead and tap your feet out, waking up the senses in our feet. Take your feet as wide as your mat here. Let's do some windshield wipers. Setting ourselves up for a shoulder stand. So go ahead and extend your legs out in front and bring your hands by your sides. Bend your elbows into here. Place feet back on the mat. And with the strength of your hips, push yourself up to a shoulder stand and place your hands behind your back for a little support. Dristi is looking at your feet. Keep your feet slightly in front of your face. So resist the urge to straighten too much, but just have a slight bend. Beautiful. One more inhale. And on the exhale, let's take a plow pose, please. So let your feet find the floor behind you or not. If your feet don't reach, it's okay. Just hang out here for 2 or 3 breaths. If your feet meet the floor, maybe 3 to 5 breaths. Go ahead and play with your feet, taking options of maybe making your legs a little wider or bringing them in a little closer. Maybe going back and forth with it, in and out. When you feel ready to release the pose, come on back up to shoulder stand first. And releasing your shoulder stand by letting your hips find the mat nice and slow and controlled. It's okay to move forward, not knowing what may be in front of us. Trust your divine intuition. Nice. When your legs meet the mat, let's take a fish pose, please. By lifting your hips up just a little, just enough to bring your hands up underneath your buttocks, then straighten your legs out again, please. Draw those shoulder blades into the midline, puff up the chest, and let your crown reach for the earth. So tipping your chin up towards the ceiling. 5 full rounds of breath in Matsyasana. Excellent. When you're ready, just go ahead and roll over to one side or the other and slip your hands out, releasing the pose. Now, yogi's choice here. You may go into a supported waterfall by placing the block underneath your sacrum, a little bit closer to your low back than your butt, and raising the legs back up for a supported waterfall. And you can stay here in silence, or if you'd like to watch me take a full wheel, I invite you to bring the soles of your feet to the mat, so knees are bent up to the ceiling. Take your hands behind your head here, maybe just a little bit front of your ears, and push into your feet first, and then draw the head up. Full wheel. Relaxing the neck and the head. 3 to 5 breaths. Releasing the pose by tucking the chin down. Let your head find the mat first, and then gently let your hips find the mat and release by letting your legs, your knees bent, drift over to one side or the other. If you're in waterfall, supported waterfall, go ahead and release the block and join us in a delicious twist. Knees are bent in, I guess these would be 90-degree angles, huh? I have to check in with my math here. But knees are bent. Taking a moment here in the twist on one side. Tapping into our divine, our divinity, our higher self. That's the self with the capital S. Inhale your knees to center. Let your hips level out. Feel your sacrum on the earth. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and let the knees fall out to the opposite side. Oh, this would be 45-degree angles. Anyone want to comment on it? Please do so. I should know better. I'm a hairstylist as well as a yogi instructor. Take your gaze, your drishti, over to the opposite side. Close your eyes and just tap in with yourself. That self with the capital S. It doesn't make us any better than anyone else. It just makes us our best self. So we can be these beautiful, loving beings in the world, able to love all those around us better, for loving ourselves best. Able to be compassionate and understanding of all beings. That is truly enlightenment. That is truly the path of love. That is truly the message of yoga. Inhale, bring your knees to center, please. Draw them into your chest. Raise your head up off the mat. Bring your nose to your knees. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Give yourself a nice, beautiful hug, thanking yourself for your practice. Exhale, release your legs out, extending them long. Extend your arms back behind you, taking a long, delicious stretch. And roll yourself over to your belly. Let's just take our forehead, resting on our hands like a little pillow here. Just in gratitude for how beautiful our bodies are. Um, Turn yourself around, please, facing the opposite wall. And let's set ourselves up for Shavasana on, let's do legs up the wall on our Shavasana today. How's that sound? That sounds delicious, right? So for those of you who may or may not know, legs up the wall, we're going to take our mats. We'll find a wall at home. And this is the way we enter into legs up the wall. Are you okay over there, Susan? You can watch me demonstrate if you want. This is if you like to take a little blanket to give yourself, your hips, a little bit more of a lift. And you sit here with your knees to the side first. And then go ahead and sit back and raise your legs up the wall here, adjusting as close as you can. Get your butt as close as you can to the wall. Nice. And just begin to let your body rest with the support of the wall on your legs and feeling the strength of the earth beneath your shoulders. If you like to really feel the earth on your hips too, go ahead and release the blanket. Close your eyes. Let's go back to our divine source. Drawing that energy to yourself from your crown chakra. Repeating any affirmation you like, or continuing with the one we started with. I am divine, and you are, each and every one of us, divine in our own way, our own uniqueness. Begin to see a beautiful color, purple, a gorgeous aura surrounding your whole body. Beautiful violet color. Now see a white ray of light at the crown of your head. And take that white light and let it outline that beautiful purple light, violet light that you have surrounding your entire body. Feel the weightlessness of your feet. Feel your crown resting now, having had it upside down in so many different ways today. And now we let all that stimulation resonate. And let the message come through. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Maybe bend your knees if you have your legs up the wall here. And start to wiggle your fingers. Go ahead and drop your knees off to one side or the other to release your waterfall pose. Take a nice fetal position, whether you were in waterfall or not. Feel that connection to the universe. Feel that connection of I know who I am. I am divine. And rise yourself up to a seated position, please, facing me. And as we started our practice earlier, if you need to prop yourself up on a little blanket or a pillow, we're going to take lotus pose one more time. But this time, if you can, please remember what foot you had crossed last when we started. Please do the opposite. When our crown chakra is balanced, this inner peace we find, this loving acceptance of ourself is able to shine through to all the universe, to all other beings, to all possibilities. And possibilities in life are endless. Let's inhale the arms up overhead, reaching for that energy, bringing our hands together in Anjali Mudra, taking our gaze up to the heavens and drawing that prayer back down to our heart center. Inhale that loving light into your heart and exhale your chin down to your heart. The light in me sees and recognizes the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you.